me tell, I've told shared a couple of times over the years, when we were growing up, there was a lady living there, had a house full of little kids, and got a monthly income, didn't get a whole lot. And she would go on December 1st when she got her check. She'd buy Christmas presents for her kids. She'd bring them down to our house. We lived 2 or 3 doors down. She said, Shirley, her and my mother was good friends. She said, I want you to keep these so the kids won't see them. But Sister Belinda, she was bad as the kids. About 2 or 3 days to go by, she'd come down there and she'd say, Shirley, I'm just going to get one gift apiece. She'd get Mom and dig them Christmas presents out that she had given her to keep. And so she'd take them up there and give them to the kids. And Ronnie, it wouldn't be 2 or 3 days later, she'd come back, she said, I'm going to get them one more gift, let them open it before Christmas. Well, guess what? When Christmas time came, them kids had nothing to open. And we, as humans here on this earth, and Ronnie, I've been serving the Lord a long time, been studying this precious book a long time, and I was talking with the sister a few days ago, and I said, sometimes we're too proud to say, I don't know the answer. You know what I'm saying? Some people tries to explain it all, but I'm here to tell you, been in the ministry, Ronnie, close to 37 years. Been pastoring this church now going on 25 years. I still don't have all the answers. I still don't understand sometimes the way God moves and why he don't move sometimes. But I do know one thing, we as humans, Ronnie, we want heaven here on earth. Amen? I don't know about you, but I want all my bills paid all the time. I want me and my family to be in perfect health. I want my flock as church, when I pray over one of you, I want God to move. But sometimes God don't choose to move. Verse 29 of St. John chapter 16, his disciples said unto him, Now speakest thou plainly, and speakest no proverb. Now we are sure that thou knowest all things, and needest not that any man should ask thee. By this we believe that thou camest forth from God. Jesus answered them, Do ye now believe? Behold, the hour cometh, is now come, that ye shall be scattered, every man to his own, shall leave me alone, and yet I am not alone, because the Father is with me. But verse 33, Brother Ronnie, you quote it often. Jesus told his disciples, These things have I spoken unto you, that ye might have peace. Now listen what he told them. In this world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Now let's run over to Revelation chapter 21. As I said, Brother Ronnie, it rips my heart out sometimes when I see friends and folks in this church suffer the way they do. And I pray, and not bragging on myself, Ronnie, because I know I'm not the only one in the church that does it. I pray, and I pray with all of my heart. You remember a few Sundays ago when I came in here and I was sick. And I said, church, I pray for you. I need you to pray for me. And y'all prayed, and God moved. Sister Melinda, so many times I've prayed, and I know he's got the power. And he hasn't moved when I wanted him to move. John the Revelator said in verse 1, and I read it so often, chapter 21 of the first verse, he said, I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride for a husband. John said, I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men. He will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. Listen to verse 4. Preacher, I know it by heart. Pay close attention. John said, God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. There shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. There ain't a person in this building, if they had it their way, if we had it our way, we'd be like my neighbor that I was talking about years ago. We'd have Christmas now. We'd have heaven now, Bob. We'd have all of these things perfect in this world. But what did Jesus tell his disciples in John 16? He said, in this world you'll have tribulation. This is not heaven. My mother and I today was praying over some folks, and a good preacher friend of mine, his wife just found out that she's got a tumor on her colon. And we was praying about it. And I said, God, I ain't a bit let down in you. I still give you 5 stars. You'll look up, a few years ago we was talking about it up at Bob's yesterday. You'll look up a restaurant, you know, when you're traveling, what do you get on, Zach, y'all taught us to do? Huh?
TripAdvisor is a good
TripAdvisor. You get up and look for you a good restaurant. You see how many stars they got. Boy, I tell you what, if they got 4.5, well, a lot of times if I'm hungry enough, I'll eat one that's just got 3 stars. But I'm telling you what, you get somebody that's got 5 stars, boy, they ain't have no complaints against them. I'm the same way about Jesus Christ. Probably he may not have answered my prayer the way I want him to be answered, but I'd still give him 5 stars. Amen. How about that, Omer? I know you and Karen's been sick the last few months. You still give him 5 stars, don't you? I was talking with the brother and sister yesterday evening. And the sister, I was so proud of her, she said, you know what? This has been going on a long time. She said, and I ain't got my prayer answered yet. She said, but I'm just going to keep asking. Yeah. I'm just going to keep asking. Amen. But Ronnie, so many times we want, as human, it's human nature. Yeah. We want to open our Christmas presents right now. Yeah. We want to have heaven right now here on this earth. Yeah. But Jesus plainly told, and folks will blame the Lord and get upset at it because, hey, 8,810 promises somebody found in this precious book. He never once promised us that in this life everything would be hunky-dory. We're blessed if things is hunky-dory. We're blessed if we're healthy. Yeah. Amen. But he did promise he'd never leave us, never forsake us. And I'm glad for that. Amen. So church, listen to me. If you ain't getting your prayers answered, just hold on. God's got a plan. Yeah. God's got a plan. I could probably be safe in saying every Christian in this building sometimes has thought at one time or another, God, you ain't listening to me. Yeah. God, this is a wrong way to do things. And looking back, Ronnie, we seen that his way was the best way. Yeah, but I told my buddy Greg, I said, we're going to send you a song. that rang in my ears. He said, I can't imagine, Ronnie, I've never had it to happen. Maybe some of y'all have. Doctors say, you know, and I get nervous every time I go to the doctor, my blood pressure, I get that white coat syndrome. Because I think that's what he's going to tell me. Ain't have been a time that I went to the doctor that I wasn't afraid he's going to say, Richard, I got something bad to tell you. Go home and get things in order. You say it's stupid. Tammy say, Richard, I can't help it. That's what I'm made of. I can't imagine, Ronnie. My buddy said, listen to me. He got a lot of friends, got a good job, got a nice home, got a nice family. None of that we put so much focus on mattered at that moment. He said, I went home and prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed. Your cry has awoken the Master.